Welcome, guys. It's me, Sir Paul the Gamer. We're going to look at 4 players that the Packers should be drafting in the 2025 NFL Draft. There's 3 wide receivers and 1 pass rusher. But one of the receivers is a long shot for the Packers to draft because he might go in the top 5 in the draft. So, and we all know the Green Bay Packers, we draft at number 23 overall in this year's draft. The first wide receiver we're gonna go look at is Air McMillan. He is the wide receiver out of Arizona State. He was a junior. He is 6'4", 219 pounds. His arm length are 31 and a half. He has 10-inch hands. In this draft, he is projected grade for McMillan is a 6.4. He will be a good starter maybe in 2 years. And he is projected to go maybe in the 2nd round, where the Packers usually have good luck with receivers in the 2nd round. We're going to go over some of his stats. Alright, in high school, his highest ranked in Arizona football history, or blah blah blah. He's pretty good. Some of the strengths, he's highly productive in all receiving column over 2 years. That means he's good at everything. He's good at the deep ball. He's good at route running. He does everything great, but he doesn't do one thing excellent. But that doesn't mean that he cannot become a number 1 receiver. He has potential. In 2023, he filled with high real touchdown. So he gets into the end zone a lot in 2023, but and he has strong hands, fingers, and recovers at the top of the route. So he's a good route runner. He has strong hands. He fights coverage off. Then he adjusts routes to coverage and scrambles from his quarterback when needed. So if the play breaks down, McMillan knows to just abandon that play and just find an open spot for your quarterback to throw the ball. That's a good thing for the quarterback, because if you have a wide receiver who knows how to do that, it'll make it more easier on the quarterback to go to him when he's not even open yet. So yeah. And he does field coverage in space and adjust routes. So he does adjust the route by looking at the coverage. Like if he sees man out there, he'll run a zone. If he sees a zone, he'll all that stuff. Some of his weaknesses are release makes it tougher to press. So he's not the greatest guy to get off press coverage. For some reason, I don't know why that is, but he doesn't get off press coverage that easily. So that could be an issue for the receiver. I'm not saying he can't fix it, but that is a issue. Then the second weakness he has is doesn't create much threat in the drive. So he kind of takes plays off. I mean, he can be good for one play, but when he comes back to another play, he might not be that great at it. So yeah. Second, the third weakness that he had is routes could use better urgency and finish. He could finish. He could finish the route much better. I'm not saying he's kind of lazy, but he could put some more energy into it. But the talent is there. The talent is there for McMillan. I mean, in Arizona, he was a stud for that team. He was. He was a stud, but he's heading into the next level. He needs to step it up. He can't have. I would say he can't have assets. Excuse my language, but he can't have asset all the time on his talent. Everybody in the NFL has talent, but does he have the drive to become one of the receivers? And if he puts in the effort, I think he can turn into a Pro Bowl wide receiver. And like I said, he is projected to go in the second round. And in this draft, there's only going to be one receiver in the top 5. And we're going to talk about that receiver at the end of the video. But that was McMillan. And McMillan is, like I said, projected to go into the second round. But sources, people say that McMillan, he got hurt in the spring, and I don't know that he ever made it back to 100%. The 2023 tape gave you a better idea of who he is. According to a AFC scout director. So yeah, that's what's going on with McMillan. McMillan, a high character guy. He just got hurt. He couldn't show what he did in 2024, but if you look at the 2023 tapes, he was dominant. Dominant. Alright. The next wide receiver we're gonna look at is the guy from Michigan. His name is Will Johnson. Will Johnson is a junior. He's 6'2", 194 pounds. Arm length is a 30 and 1/8 inch. Hands are 9-inch hands. His prospect grade is a 6.50. And he is a boom or bust potential. And I'm leading more of a boom I saw this kid play in Michigan, and he was electric. I mean, he couldn't show what he could do because in that Michigan offense, it was all about the running game. But every time I saw him with the ball in his hand, he would make it plays after plays after plays. And score breakdown. Let's look at the score breakdown here. In the 2025 Combine, his production score was 80, and that made him the third, the third cornerback in the league. And then his athletic score was 83 in the 2025 Combine. That made him the eighth overall cornerback in the league. And then total score in the Combine was 83. It made him fifth in the league. And like I said, I made a mistake. I thought he was a wide receiver, but no, he's a cornerback. But I did see him play in Michigan in the defense. And like I said, he every time he was out there, that defense was good. Anyway, in high school, he was a 5-star recruit. He was top 20. He was a top 20 overall prospect nationwide. 2022 freshman All-American player in all 14 games with 5 stars. Blah blah blah. We all know what it is. Some of his strengths are big, smooth, and he is a tall guy. He is a fast guy. He is a lengthy guy, and he knows how to use his body to his potential. Second strength is press with patience. Feet. So he has good feet and strong reroute. So if he gets rerouted by a receiver, he can recover really quick and get back to the route to cover. And he calm, quick from press and can run the route. And he can run the route for the wide receiver, so that's good. And he has, and this is what I like about this guy. He has good body control and changes directions and speed. That is the most important thing for a DB is body control. If you have body control and the wide receiver knocks you to the left or to the right, you can still recover. This guy can do that, and he has a high motor, but he is projected to go in the later in the first round. So, and also he's a good. He can read coverages pretty well. Well, he can read the offense pretty well. As a DB, you want that because you want your DB to know what the offense is going to do against his defense. His pre-snap play recognition makes it seem like he was in the offensive puddle. So he's a smart dude. He can read the coverage like he knows what the play is coming, like he was in the offensive huddle, but he's a defensive player. So that's great. You want that in your cornerback. You want your cornerback to know what the offense is going to do so you can stop it. And some of the weaknesses for him is he suffered a season-ending turf toe injury in October, so he does have some injury history. Second weekend, ball green makes him suspect to double move. So he does take chances, and he is greedy. He wants to pick off the ball, and that gets him into trouble a little bit because if you're greedy and go for the ball all the time and you miss the ball, the wide receiver has a chance to take it all the way for a touchdown, and you don't want that. But I think that is fixable. I mean, if you get into a good organization and they can teach you patience and not go for the ball all the time, that can help the guy. Really help. And and the last weakness he has, he struggles to factor once he's stacked by the receiver. Yeah, that he has to work on that. When he gets stacked by the receiver, he has a hard time getting off the receiver, and that could cause like a pass interference call and all that. And there's another sources to the people: good production and good instinct. But we need to see if he can run, and he better get a whole lot better at tackling. And that is said by another AFC executive. So all they want to know is if he can run, and it looks like he needs to work on his tackling skills. But in the Packers organization, it makes sense. But we do need depth, and he is a boom or bust guy. So why not take a chance? He is projected to go in the later on in the first round. He's projected to go around in the 25 to 31 pick, around there, on that range. But yeah, but but the next guy we are going to talk about is a pass rusher, edge pass rusher, where the Packers need a pass rusher. This guy is also projected to go in the later first round or the mid first rounds. Like I said, the Packers had the 23rd overall pick. The pass rusher I'm talking about is Shamar Stewart out of Texas A&M. He is a junior. He is a he is a 6'5", 267 pounder. He has 34-inch arms, and he has a 9-inch hand. His prospect grade is a 6.41. It says he will become a starter within 2 years. I don't believe that. I think he's a day one starter on the edge rusher. Let's look at his score breakdown of the 2025 NFL Combine. His production score was 64. That made him the defensive end and edge rusher, ranked 26. Athletic score, he scored an 84, which made him fourth ranked in the combine over every DN and edge rusher. And total score combination is a 77 for all. And he was ranked 7th overall all the ends and edge rusher. He ran a 4.59 40-yard dash. Not bad for a edge rusher. Not bad of an edge rusher. Then he got a 1.58 seconds in the 10-yard sprint. He had a 40 vertical jump. He had a 11 broad jump. And in 2022, he played in all 12 games with 6 starts. He had 23 tackles. He had 3.5 interception with one and a half sacks. In 2023, he played in all 13 games with 1 start. In the Texas Bowl against Oklahoma State, he got 11 tackles, 2 breakups with 1.5 sacks, and he also blocked the kick. And in his last year in 2024, 13 all FCA started 12 games. He had 31 tackles, 5.5 breakups, a half a sack. He wasn't that great, but he does look like he could turn into a good pass rusher. But yeah, some of his strengths are he's carved from granite with a rare combination of size length and explosion. So for a big guy, he is explosive. He moves he moves fast for a big guy. That's all I'm saying. Then another strength of his is first step first and good good bend and create danger in the gap. So all that means that he is good at filling the gap. He knows where to go. He knows what to do. He knows what gap he has to be in. And then he has strength to drive blockers into the backfield. So that means he has power. He can move any kind of offensive. If he's 1-on-1 with a guard, no guard's gonna be able to stop him. You need to double cover. You need to double team him. That's all it is. And let's see the next. And his other strength is speed to power rush, not pass or setting tackle off the mark. So he has speed and power at the same time, which makes the offensive line a little bit worried about how to block this guy. And then the last one is he has been to turn and flatten the edge and hurts the pass rusher. That means he set up the whichever side he's on. If he's against the left tackle, he knows how to set the edge and go after the quarterback. If he's on the right tackle, the same thing, so he can play on both sides of the D line. But there are some weaknesses to his game. Puzzling lack of career production relates to his. So he doesn't have that. He didn't have that much success in college. So, but his numbers show that he's a good player, but it doesn't show up on tape. The second one is allowed blockers into his frame. Yeah, you don't want that when you're a pass rusher. You not want the blockers to get right into your body, or it's going to be hard for you to get off the block. But I think that's fixable. That is fixable. And the other one is gets pushed off his base and winds at the edge. So he does get pushed off his mark sometimes, and that leads him to lose balance sometimes, but that's fixable also. And the last one is rush the passer with intensity, but there can't be a lack of plan and focus. So he's still a young guy. He needs to focus on what he's gonna do, and that's also fixable in the NFL. So I don't think we have a major issue with that. And for a project guy, I think it's worth taking a pick on him. We already did that with the 13th overall on Lucas Van Ness. So yeah. But we come to the last player I am going to talk about. Yes, like I said, this player might be going in the top 5 or top 10. If the Packers really want to get this guy, we got to trade up into the top 5 or the top 10. The guy that I'm talking about is out of Colorado. His name is Travis Hunter. In college, he played 2 ways. He played wide receiver, and he also played cornerback. Yeah, I said it. He played 2 ways. He played corner, and he played wide receiver. His prospect rate is he's a year 1 starter. Day 1 starter at wide receiver. And his prospect rate is a 6.89. We're going to take a look at his score breakdown. And this is great. Production score, he has a 99 overall in the combine over every corner and wide receiver. So he's ranked number 1 in that. In the athletic score, he only scored a 78, which makes him the 31st ranked corner and wide receiver overall in the combine. But his total score in the combine was a 92 overall. That makes him the number 1 player among all of the wide receiver and corner. This guy is you're never gonna see a guy like this. Never gonna see a guy like this. Never. In a million years. I'm just saying that right now. The last guy that was close to Travis Hunter, maybe Deion Sanders. Because I believe that Deion Sanders could have played wide receiver also. Let's look at some of his strengths. Some of his strengths as a cornerback plays with noticeable improvement in 2024. So he wasn't that great of a corner, but in 2024, he looked better than what he looked like the previous year. He's also a defensive playmaker with rare range. So basically basically he's a Deion Sanders 2.0. I'm saying that right now. He's basically a 2.0. Plays with excitement level on route recognition. So he knows how to recognize routes as a DB. I think that's why he played wide receiver also. So he knows both sides of the ball. Then his other one is smooth comeback and cross route. So he knows how to run routes smoothly and he can come back. He's willing and able to race and overlap coverage area. That means he's fast and he knows how to cover. But some of his weaknesses are long legs, cause slow flip of hips to run with vertical route. He is fast, but he has long legs, so maybe that could get him in trouble. As a cornerback, you need to have smooth hips so you can transition when you have to go left or when you have to go right. Other one, it needs to stay low and better balance in his back pedal. So he needs to stay a little bit lower to the ground so he doesn't have any balance issues. So he needs that. Really challenged by the NFL caliber receiving talent in 2024. So that means he's a great receiver too. So yeah, must prove he can complete against high weight classes. Yeah, that could be an issue. He's a little bit smaller than the other people in the NFL, like muscle wise. So maybe he has to bulk up a little bit. But if he bulks up a little bit, I think he might lose mobility a little bit too because of that. But that's the issue. And he also commits blocks sticks to him. Yeah, that means he will get some pass interference calls. But as a receiver him as a receiver, because he played two ways, they call it, has snaps where he gets rolled by press coverage. So if he's playing wide receiver and a cornerback is pressing him, he has a hard time getting off press coverage. And then his final weakness, high flying playing style leads to heavy contact. So as a receiver, he's fast and showy, but he's gonna get hit really hard by the defensive player. And then his last weakness, average toughness. So he's not that tough with his running after the ball catch. Right after he gets the ball catch, he's not gonna run over any player. It's just not his game. Just not his game at all. And the NFL sources tell people that you don't play a guy full time at receiver and then part time at corner. He's a lot more valuable as a corner who played 8 to 10 snaps at a game at wide receiver. AFC executive said he's he's the best receiver in this class, and then there is a big drop off. He's completely to he's comparably to last year's big three neighbors, Marvin Harrison Jr. and Romeo Ducey, in my opinion, NFC personnel director. So we got two comments from an NFC players director and an AFC executive. So the AFC executive is telling us that he's a great cornerback, but why would you play him at wide receiver? And a NFC personnel saying that after Travis Henry, all the wide receivers are not going to be that great in this draft. But if Travis Henry came out last year, he would have been higher than Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison Jr., and Romeo Ducey. But I think the Packers, if they could trade into the top 10 or the top 5, they should seriously looking to get Travis Henry. I'm not saying that they should play that wide receiver and that corner, but we do need a corner. And I think he would be a good fit in that Jeff Hafley's defense. But anyway, guys, tell me what you think about those players. I would love to know your opinions on these players. Leave it in the comment section. And one more thing, guys. Can you leave a like for my editor, Jackson? He's working really hard on all my videos, and I appreciate him for that. He also has a second job, so I'm not making his job any easier. But if you're watching this, Jackson, I really appreciate it so much. And I love you guys. And I love you, Jackson. So thank you for doing this, Jackson. And I'll talk to you guys later. And I hope you like the video. And also like, comment, and subscribe, please. It helps me a lot. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Alright, guys,